Hello everyone. In this video, I am going to show you how to retarget animations with this character Shenya. I am going to cover UE4 Mannequin Animations, Paragon Animations and UE5 Animations, as well as Mixamo animations. You will see how we can bring those animations to this character.
Before starting, to be more clear, I am going to use Shenya for this demo. It's not the video to watch if you have custom characters, although maybe it might helps, but I am not sure. Below are the assets with animations that I am going to use in this demo, starting with UE4 Animations. Many animations on the Unreal Engine Marketplace are still based on UE4 Mannequin, so I will cover that first. Part 2's Animation Starter Pack is also based on UE4 Mannequin. Then we look at how to retarget animations from one of the Paragon character, Belica. The same technique can also be applied to other Paragon characters. Then we look at how to retarget animations for UE5 characters. I don't have any UE5 animation pack, so I will be using the animations from the content pack. Finally, we look at how to use Mixamo animations with Shenya. A brief overview on the retarget process. First, we have two sides of the characters. One character wants to copy animations from the other character has the animations. We will need to prepare IK rigs for both sides and then create an IK retargeter that process the IK rigs to output the animation. The IK retargeter do the retargeting works and output the animations. We can choose which animations we want and export the animations from the IK retargeter. Alright, let's jump right in.
We will create a new project, and I am going to use Unreal Engine 5.3 for this demo. While waiting for it to load, we go to the Epic Games launcher and look for the animation pack that we want to use. We will use the Close Combat Animset. I got it when it's free for the month. We will also add Shenya to the project. Then we will add the third-person content. Inside it contains the UE4 and UE5 mannequins that we will be using. After we added all the assets, I also like to color the folder to make them easier to identify. The third-person content pack comes with 3 folders that I will mark it with a grayish color. I will give all the animation packs a cyan color. Then I will create a new folder called Retarget. Inside it I will put the IK rigs, IK retargeters, TPoses and exported animations, etc. Since I will visit this folder frequently, I shall give it a bright red color. I will put all the IK rigs here. It's just my preference, you can also put it together with the skeletal mesh. Alright, once we imported all we need, let's check out the animations that we are going to retarget. These are the animations for UE4 Mannequin and we want to transfer them to Shenya. The first thing we do whenever we import any UE4 animations is to make them compatible with Content Pack's UE4 Mannequin. Locate the mesh folder and find the skeleton to open it. Look for the panel called Retarget Sources. We will add skeleton there. If you couldn't see the window, click on this Retarget Manager button. Then we click on the Add Skeleton button and choose the SK Mannequin from the Content Pack. There are 2 SK Mannequin here, pick the one from the third-person content pack. Next we are going to create an IK rig for Shenya. We can create an IK rig by right-clicking on the skeletal mesh, and select Create, then select IK rig from the menu. However, we will need to create the chains manually. But there's an easier way. Just copy the same setup from the IK rig that comes with the third-person content pack. This is the setup for the IK rig of the UE4 Mannequin. For Shenya, we will just duplicate this IK rig and change the mesh inside. Duplicate this IK rig. We will change the mesh inside to Shenya. The chains and bones settings should translate over without issues. The IK goals position looks slightly in the wrong position, but it's an easy fix. Just select all the goals and reset their location and rotation. That's it. Then we will create a folder to hold all the Retargeter assets for Shenya. Create a new IK Retargeter. Open it and assign the source and target IK rigs in the Details panel. Move Shenya aside a little bit. And hide the debug displays. In the Asset Browser, we can see a list of animations of the UE4 Mannequin. We can play the animations to see how it looks on Shenya. There's some issues on the animations. Some of the problems comes from the source animation. However, the rest of the animations looks okay to me on the surface. This might be good enough, but I am going to import a retarget pose that are more accurate. Press this button at the top to switch to show retarget pose. Select target so we can import pose asset for Shenya. Click on the Create button. From the drop-down menu, select Import from Pose Asset. We can switch between different retarget poses to compare. This is before, and this is after. Run the retarget animation again. And switch between poses to compare while we playback the animation. There's some slight difference between the two poses, but the pose asset that I create should be a tiny bit better. From here, you can export these animations out to use. By the way, if you see this, feel free to skip to next part if you don't want to watch me preview animations. Let's check the feet contact in the side view. Uncheck Auto Align Floor to Mesh. Notice that the left foot floats a bit from the ground. We can tweak some settings for this specific animation. We can use the Blend to Source option to constrain the foot to the same position as UE4 Mannequin. In the root settings, we can also adjust the pelvis up or down in the Z-axis like so. This is the result. We can export this animation using this setting, but remember to reset the settings because while the settings might work for this animation, they might not work for the other animations. Another animation that will have problem is the back evade. Her hands are too far from the ground during the upside down pose. And when she lands, her land position is also too far from the original. Unfortunately, I don't think it's possible to fix this with the IK Retargeter. Actually, we will most often find problems with animations where their hands or feet need to stay locked to an object, weapons or floor. We will be able to fix some of them by blending the IK to the source, but I don't think all of the animations can be fixed inside the retargeter. Let's import another animation pack to show you the same process. We will import the animation starter pack. It's free and you can get it in the marketplace. After import the animation pack, we will see that the animation list in the asset browser doesn't have those animations we just imported. Just like what we did to the close combat Animset, the first thing we do after importing an animation pack is to find the mannequin skeleton that it uses and make it compatible with the main skeleton that we have in the content pack. After that, if we reopen the animation retargeter, we will find the animations from animation starter pack in the list of animations. Let's check out some of the animations. Since we are reusing the same IK retargeter, everything should work like before. I want to show you one of the animation that have some problems and how we can fix it. The hands are not in the correct position for this animation. We can try blend to source to constraint Shenya's hands to the same position as the mannequin. Here we can see we have snapped her hand's skeleton to the same position as the mannequin's using the blend to source setting. But since her hands is smaller, there's still a wide space between her hands. Let me show you the before blend to source and after blend to source. This is before and this is after. To fix this, we can use the static offset to move the left hand in the x-axis. We can also shift both of the hands up and down or forward and backward, by tweaking the static offset's Y and Z values. We can export this animation to keep this animation with these settings. Let's reset the settings because other animations probably looks better without it. You can also tweak the root settings, which let you adjust the pelvis position. By the way, if the feet sink into the ground, you can fix it using the blend to source setting. And to move the feet up, use the static offset setting. Next I am going to demo how to retarget Paragon character, Belica. Let's import Belica from the Epic Games launcher. This is Belica. And these are her animations. So the first thing for Paragon character is not making the skeleton compatible. We only use compatible skeleton for the UE4 mannequins. What we will do first is create an IK rig for her. I will duplicate the UE4 Mannequin's IK rig from the third-person content pack, and change the mesh inside, just like what I did for Shenya. Then I will create an IK retargeter to retarget Belica's animations to Shenya. Open the IK retargeter and set the source and target IK rigs. First off, Shenya's shoulders looks a bit off. Switch to show retarget pose and we will see that Belica and Shenya arms do not match in the same angle. If we look at the skeleton, the clavicle bones of Belica is also angled down a little bit more. The retarget animations look strange because their retarget pose are not matching. To fix this, we will match their retarget pose. I am going to use TPose because Shenya already comes with a TPose, and it's also easy to create TPose for custom characters using the Mixamo auto rigger. Belica doesn't comes with a TPose, but we can create it easily using Mixamo auto rigger. First, we need to export Belica's mesh. In the FBX export options, remember to uncheck options that are not necessary. We don't need things like vertex color, level of detail, collision or morph targets. Go to Mixamo website, mixamo.com. You need to register an account and login to use their service. I have already registered and logged. Use the Upload Character button to upload our custom character. Once the character has been processed and rigged, we can search for TPose and apply the pose on our character. Now Belica is in TPose. We will export her without the skin. Because we don't need the mesh informations, we just need the skeleton information in TPose. After it's downloaded, we can drag the FBX file into Unreal Engine to import it. Pay attention to the import options. We don't want to import the mesh, so uncheck Import Mesh. In the Skeletons field, set it to Belica's skeleton. Then click Import. We can ignore the error message. For my own preference, I like to put all imported TPoses inside the Retarget folder. I will put all our custom-made TPoses in the TPose folder so it's easy to locate them later. Open the TPose animation sequence that we just imported and we will create a pose asset. Now we are able to use this pose inside the IK Retargeter. Go to the IK Retargeter, switch to Source, and import the pose asset for Belica. Run Retarget animation again and check how the animation looks. Let's go to the side view and check the feet contact. Just for demonstrations, I will export some of the animations. Feel free to skip to the next part, which is about retargeting UE5 animations. Since I don't have any animation pack that are based on UE5 Mannequin, I will demo with the one in the third-person content pack. Remember that for your UE5 animations, you need to make the UE5 skeleton compatible with the one from the third-person content pack, just like what we did for the UE4 Mannequin. The IK rig for UE5 Mannequin is ready to be used, and we have also already created the IK rig for Shenya. So we can now create an IK Retargeter. Open it and set the source and target IK rigs. We also need to import a retarget pose I made to match UE5 Mannequin. Import the UE5A pose. And that's all we need to do for retargeting UE5 animation. I will play some animations to see how it looks. This is our last demo. I am going to show you how to retarget Mixamo animations to Shenya. First we will create a folder called Mixamo to hold the mesh, its skeleton, and all its animations. Then we will go to Mixamo's website and download the mesh in TPose. Download the TPose mesh with skin. It's good to rename the FBX file to mixamo.fbx. Drag the FBX file into Unreal Engine. In the import options, uncheck Physics Asset, uncheck Animations, and select Create New Materials. If the settings are correct, we will have just these 4 assets. I will create a material folder to put the 2 materials inside. And then create an animation folder for the animations. Let's go back to Mixamo's website again to get some animations. I will pick a few of them. When you download these animations, remember to download them without skin. It will give you a smaller file size, and when you import them, Unreal will auto-detect that these are animations since there are no mesh informations inside. After we imported our animations, we will create an IK rig for the Mixamo character. Open the IK rig. First thing first, set the retarget root to the hips. Then start defining the bone chains, starting with the spine bones, following by the head chain, which include the neck in the chain, the left clavicle, the left arm, the left fingers, And finally the left leg. Then we mirror the left to the right. We can also set up the IK solver, but since this will be the source IK rig, having an IK solver is not going to do much. The IK solver is only going to be useful on the target IK rig, because then you will have those IK options to constrain the feet to the source animation's feet, for example. We can now create the IK retargeter to retarget animations from Mixamo to Shenya. Open the retargeter and set the source and target IK rigs. At the very beginning, we can see something strange happening to Shenya's arm, but that's because we haven't matched the retarget pose yet. Switch to show retarget pose. So for Mixamo, we are going to import TPose for Shenya, to match the TPose of Mixamo that's already there. By the way, I have added two new TPoses here, TPose shoulder and TPose straight. These are the TPoses with variations on the angles of the clavicle bones. I will show the use case of TPose straight in a minute, but these are options for you. Pick one that looks the best for your specific situations. I will import the default TPose first, and I will turn on bones display so we can take a look at the clavicles. Let's play some animations to see how it works. Okay, but wait. Something's broken at her limbs. That's caused by the incorrect chain mapping. Unreal Engine have mapped the twist bones to the wrong bone chain. Since Mixamo's skeleton doesn't have twist bones, it should be set to none. We can set all the twist bones mapping to none in one step using automap chains. That will also set those IK bones to none, which is also what we want. Great! The feet can be adjusted with the IK settings to make it stick closer to the ground, which I am going to show you soon with another example. For this animation, the feet sink into the ground a bit much. We'll see if we can fix it by setting the blend to source to 1. The feet are now sinking deeper than before, but it also stay locked to the ground. We can then adjust the static offset Z value to pull the feet up. Another problem here is the intersection between the lower arm and the thigh. I can try to adjust the static offset, but it seems in this case, that's not going to work. I think the whole spine need to bend up to lift the two clavicles together with the arms for this to work. Which unfortunately, I don't think it's possible to fix in IK Retargeter. For this animation, I think the shoulders droop a little. This is a case where we can use another TPose, the straight version, to improve this situation. We will import the TPose straight, and turn on the displays of skeletons to see what's the difference between the default TPose and this version. The default TPose has the clavicles bones close to straight, but you can still see it angled down a tiny bit. Switch to the straight version to see it's exactly straight. Mixamo's clavicle bone is very straight too. So I think the straight version is better when you are retargeting Mixamo animations. For the drunk walk animation, the shoulder looks better with straight TPose too. In this walk animation, I want to highlight that the root bone are not moving, which is a problem if you need a root motion. I will create another video in the future to show you how to fix the root bone problem. For any other non-root animations it should be fine though. That's it, hope you find this video helpful, let me know if you have any problems in the comments section. See you later.